Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. Okay.
Nagesh sir, hello.
Nagesh sir.
Hello?
Nagesh sir.
Hello? Hello, Nagesh sir.
Nagesh sir, hello. Nagesh sir, കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്, പക്ഷെ കേൾക്കാം. ഓഡിബിൾ ആണോന്ന് അറിയത്തില്ല.
അത് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്തിരുന്നാ സാറേ?
മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തേക്കോ സാറേ, മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്.
ലൈവ് പോയോ? ലൈവ് പോയി തുടങ്ങി?
ലൈവ് ഇപ്പൊ ജസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യും.
ആയില്ല.
അതെ.
ഹലോ? ഹലോ നാഗേഷ് സാർ.
നാഗേഷ് സാർ ജസ്റ്റ് എക്സിറ്റ് ആയിട്ടുണ്ട് സാറേ.
ആണോ?
സാറേ ഇപ്പൊ വിളിക്കാം സാർ.
ഒന്ന് കണക്ട് ചെയ്യേ.
ഓക്കെ സാർ.
ഷീബ മിസ്, നമുക്ക് വന്നിട്ട് തുടങ്ങാം. ഞാൻ ജസ്റ്റ് ആഡ് ഒന്ന് ഇടുന്നുണ്ട്. നാഗേഷ് സാർ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിട്ട് തുടങ്ങാവുള്ളൂ.
ലൈവ് കൊടുക്കണ്ടേ ഇപ്പം?
ഓക്കെ.
ലൈവ് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ?
സെറ്റ് ചെയ്തു സാറേ. അവർ ജസ്റ്റ് ഞാൻ നാഗേഷ് സാർ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തപ്പം പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു 3 o'clock എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു.
ഓക്കെ 3 ആയില്ല. ഓക്കെ.
ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി കോളേജിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ഭാവിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ആശങ്ക പലതായിരുന്നു. എന്നാൽ സുന്ദരമായ ആ ക്യാമ്പസിലേക്ക് കയറി ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ആത്മവിശ്വാസം എനിക്ക് ലഭിച്ചു. നല്ല സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ, സംശയം അകറ്റി വെളിച്ചം പകർന്നു തന്ന അധ്യാപകർ, പുതിയ ആശയങ്ങൾ നൽകിയ ലൈബ്രറി, ഏകാഗ്രതയും നല്ല ഓർമ്മകളും നൽകിയ ക്ലാസ് റൂമുകൾ, ഡിജിറ്റൽ ലോകത്തേക്ക് പറക്കാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ലാബ്. അങ്ങനെ MES കോളേജ് എന്നെ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് സ്വപ്നം കാണുവാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ വളരെ ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ പിന്നിലാക്കി ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ പറന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. You have to dream before your dreams can come true.
MES College, Erumely, proposed PO, Erumely, Kottayam, unaided arts and science college under the Muslim Educational Society, approved by Government of Kerala and affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University.
Good afternoon all.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Since everything is okay, can we start, sir?
Okay.
Sir, Nagesh sir not joined.
Okay, sir.
സാർ ഇപ്പൊ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ വിളിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടേ.
Okay. We shall wait.
Hello, Nagesh sir.
Hello sir.
Okay. Okay.
So I hope I am visible and clearly audible.
Is it okay? At present, it's okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Shall we start?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
good afternoon all. Welcome to the webinar Startup Opportunities in E-Waste Management, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell and Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell of MES College, Erumely. MES College, Erumely already conducted 3 webinar series with around 20 webinars. E-waste or electronic waste describes discarded electrical or electronic devices. Used electronics which are destined for refurbishment, reuse, resale, salvage recycling through material recovery or disposal are also considered as a e-waste. Today we have here with us our resource person, Mr. S.S. Nagesh Kumar, Assistant Manager and State Nodal Officer, E-Waste Management, Keen Kerala Company Limited. Mahiraman Sir, Principal of MES College, Erumely. Ramadevi A, Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator. Dr. Rajeshwari, HOD of Commerce Computer Application and Coordinator of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell. Jidesh KS, Vice Principal of Training and Continuing Education, Director of CDC. Sabjan Yusuf Sir, IT Cell Director. Tanseem Jinish, Technical Coordinators, and above all participants from all over India. Let's start the program by a warm welcome from Dr. Rajeshwari, Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell, and also webinar coordinator. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, all. Myself, Dr. Rajeshwari, Head of the Department and Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell, MES College, Erumely. Take this opportunity to welcome you all to this webinar on startup opportunities in e-waste management. It's an honor and privilege to have different participants from 10 countries attending this webinar. E-waste has become a serious issue that have impacted our environment in a negative way, as well as disposal of e-waste also become determinantal to the environment. Most of the e-waste are not being disposed in an appropriate way. As a result, it has polluted the environment. E-waste has become the most rapidly of the formal municipal waste stream in the world. Metals like gold, silver, and copper act as a rich source of e-waste. The same can be recycled for production. E-waste companies Recycling Alliance provide many employment opportunities to any group of people all over the world. We, the IEDC, see a great scope and opportunities in setting up a startup for e-waste. Now, I take this opportunity to welcome our distinguished speaker of the day, Mr. S.S. Nagesh Kumar, who is working as an assistant manager for Clean Kerala Company Private Limited, Government of Kerala in our midst. We welcome you, sir, to our MES family.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, I would like to welcome our Honorable Principal, Professor Mahi MN, who has been our pillar of strength and our backbone. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of IEDC.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to welcome our chairman, Janab P.H. Najib, sir, who has always been our motivator and supported us with his utmost care. We welcome you, sir. Next, I welcome IQAC Director and Vice Principal, Mrs. Ramadevi, ma'am, for this event. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to welcome Mrs. Shiva Michael, Students Dean, Mr. Jidesh KS, CDC Director, Mr. Sabjan Yusuf, IT Cell Director, Head of the Department and teachers of various departments to this event. Welcome you all. Above all, I welcome all the precious participants from various parts of the world for this webinar. I am sure we will have a great session today. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. May I request Mrs. Ramadevi A, IQAC Coordinator and Vice Principal to inaugurate the webinar. Over to you, madam.
Okay. Good evening, all. In our college, IQAC is very active in organizing a lot of programs in association with various departments and forums of our college, which are helpful to our students, faculties, and to the public as well. In this pandemic period, IQAC of our college, in association with various departments and forums of our college, has been conducting a series of national and international webinars. This is the second one in the third series. Today, IQAC and Entrepreneurship Development Cell is organizing a national webinar on startup opportunities in e-waste management. E-waste management is a pressing need of the time. We have a good talent pool for such a startup. We are fortunate enough to get a resource person like Mr. S.S. Nagesh Kumar, Nodal Officer, E-Waste Collection Project, Kerala, to give suggestions and advice. I am happy to inaugurate today's webinar. Have a fruitful evening. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. I am greatly honored to introduce the chief guest before all of us present here. Mr. S.S. Nagesh Kumar, an MBA holder, specialized in systems and marketing, started his career as mass marketing executive and has associated with the Kerala State Cooperative Consumers Federation Limited for a few years. He has been with the Clean Kerala Company Limited since 2014. He has been working in the waste management sector for the past 6 years and is specialized in e-waste management. He is the nodal officer for e-waste collection project implemented in Kerala by Clean Kerala Company Limited. He is also in charge of extended producer responsibility projects of Clean Kerala Company Limited. In addition to this, he is in charge of special waste management projects implemented in association with the central government institutions like VSSC and Indian Railways. He is also the resource person of Clean Kerala Company Limited for e-waste management awareness program. On behalf of management, IQAC and IEDC, may I welcome Mr. Nagesh Kumar for the presentation. And also we request all the participants kind cooperation and wish you all a worthwhile seminar. Over to you, Nagesh sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's begin with the sessions. And I believe, as Madam Ramadevi Madam expressed earlier, like peace management is an ever growing need of humans as we live on this planet. Waste management is a challenge that is there in front of us, and e-waste is again a newer category of waste that has been generated due to the improvement or maybe the evolution of technology, we can say. So I'll just share my screen and start with the presentation. I believe it is visible to all.
Yeah, yes.
It is visible, sir.
Okay. So as I was introduced earlier, myself is Nagesh Kumar. I'm working with Clean Kerala Company Limited, a waste management company formed by the state government of Kerala. And we have been in the field for maybe past 6 years. In fact, we just don't focus on e-waste. We are responsible for all kinds of non-biodegradable waste that is being generated in the state. So I will just start with an intro of Clean Kerala Company Limited. It's a government-owned company formed under the LSG department, Local Self-Government Department of Kerala government. And our main motto is to support the LSGIs, which are the panchayats, local bodies, the bodies that are directly in contact with the general public. So we are responsible for providing state-of-the-art technology, suggesting state-of-the-art technology, bringing up new technology into the state for waste management, not just e-waste, but all kinds of non-biodegradable waste. So these are our objectives. This is why we were formed, and we are in the field for past 6 years now. So that is a company. So talking about the subject that we all are here, we are here to explore what is e-waste and what are the opportunities that an e-waste management facility provides, as Madam were talking earlier. Like there is a huge business opportunity hidden in the waste sector. We might often have come across the phrase wealth from waste to wealth. Those kinds of phrases are most common nowadays. Anyway, let's carry on with the presentation. I have divided my presentation into mainly 3 sections. So first would be, since we are talking about e-waste, what is e-waste? So it has been divided into what, why, and how. So what is e-waste? Why e-waste? Why e-waste a problem, areas of concern, and how e-waste? How we have to scientifically process it, or how it should be done, and where are the startup opportunities, or where is the business opportunities in this sector. So let's start. Let's get an intro about what is e-waste. So e-waste, the abbreviation stands for electronic waste. Obviously, we all know that. So here is a definition. Any electrical or electronic equipment that fall in the waste management stream, or which falls in the waste stream, then it is classified as e-waste. If you have a cell phone or a television at your home, when it is not usable, when it cannot be used any further, it falls, obviously it falls in the waste stream. It is waste for us, for the end user. Then it can be classified as e-waste. Another technical term that we commonly come across over the internet and all is WEEE, which means that waste electrical and electronic equipment. So all electrical electronic equipment that fall in waste category are classified as, or which falls in the waste stream. That is a key term there. Only if it falls in the waste stream, it is classified as e-waste. So here is a definition just to complement what I have said. E-waste comprises of waste generated from used electronic devices and household appliances which are not fit for their original intended use. We have to underline that, and are destined for recovery and recycling or disposal. So this definition states what is to be done with that. So we will come to that later in this session. So let's move along. This is a pictorial representation. Obviously, most of you have seen this. Everybody, I do believe that each one of you might be having 1 or 2 bricks in your home, in your drawer, your old cell phone. That is what I was referring to as bricks. So each and every household in I can't say nowadays in rural and urban, it is very common. It's quite common. Every household has some kind of e-waste stocked in their premises. So this is a pictorial representation of what is e-waste. So moving on, what is where are these e-waste coming from? Obviously, individual households, personal belongings like cell phones, laptops, personal computers, television sets. Everything is now, we are living in a digital age. So households is a major source of e-waste that is being generated. Then again, public and private institutions. Obviously, our institutions, let it be educational or any other business institutions, organizations, even government departments, everybody is using one or another kind of electronic or electrical gadget. So again, these institutions are also a source of e-waste. Industries and other. This is the last point is nowadays the quantity has reduced. There is a significant change in this last point, but still there are imported e-waste that are coming into our country as well. So imported e-waste is also a source of e-waste nowadays. So this picture, I have included this picture in my presentation to show this. Obviously, this picture shows evolution. There is no doubt about it. But 2 kind of evolution is being represented in this picture. One is man, and as man evolves, his technology also evolved. So evolution of technology, I would say. Nowadays, we use touch phones, which uses a touch phone for human interface. Earlier, we used to have buttons like the Nokia earlier models and all. Nowadays, those phones are gone. Now it is the era of touch phones. Now, so as the technology changes, again, the previous one, even though if they are working fine, they are classified as e-waste as they are not used anymore. So this is to show where this e-waste is coming from in our society. And moving on, So this is an introduction, like where is this e-waste is being generated from increased use and dependence on electrical and electronic equipment. So obviously, we all are more dependent on electrical and electronic equipments nowadays in our daily routine. And the importance is these triple E, the waste, electronic and electrical equipments are made up of various valuable materials. They are made up of various valuable materials as well as equally toxic materials also. Like Madam was talking about gold and all. We will come to that in the later slides. These are made up of different kinds of. The point is, we have come to the second part of this session, which is why e-waste a problem. If you take a phone, it is made up of heterogeneous materials, different components, different all these thousands of different components components are made up of different kinds of material, like different elements are used, different compounds are used, different chemicals are used. So in short words, these are heterogeneous in nature. You cannot put a phone in a blender and treat it likewise. All these heterogeneous things should be segregated. So the heterogeneous nature of this is causing the most problematic issue in processing e-waste. If old equipment is not properly recycled, there is a chance of these chemicals leaching into the air and soil, polluting it for maybe longer periods of time, making it, rendering it not usable. So this kind of things, this kind of property of e-waste adds to the complexity of processing these materials. So this is just a pictorial representation. What you can find in e-waste composition may contain ferrous material, non-ferrous material, plastics, glass, hazardous material, and other materials. The problem starts in this blue area, which shows that which is mentioned as hazardous material. So these materials are highly leachative. They can leach into the soil, they can leach into the water table, they can even seep into the air, and ultimately affecting the human life and nature as well. So you can, as you can see, this is again, we all know that this is a periodic table, and you can see that each and every element that is marked in gray shade, which is shaded, are used in one form or another, are used in electronic equipments. And you can see which are shaded in green. They are precious metals, as Madam were referring to earlier, like gold and all, blue gold, palladium, platinum and all. And the blue ones are critical ones that need to be scientifically disposed of to reduce the effect of these kinds of harmful chemicals in the environment. So these are some of the toxic constituents of e-waste. Common one, like mercury, lead, cadmium, polycarbonated BPs. These are found in capacitors and all. Printed circuit boards and the housing of the material. Like if you consider a television, the screen is enclosed in a plastic casing, and the wires that we use in our households for wiring and all, it is encased, the copper is encased in a plastic kind of thing. Those are brominated flame retardants, one or another form of BFRs. So these BFRs are there to reduce the chances of these material catching fire. But these are highly toxic materials that are used, and once they catch fire, they release chemicals such as dioxins, which are highly carcinogenic. So even PVC is also a compound used commonly in piping, tubing, and insulation purposes. So those are also highly toxic. They are also capable of releasing toxic chemicals to the environment, which can affect, which have affected, which will affect human lives. So we are moving to the recycling part of this. I hope we all are on the same page, like what we have understood what is e-waste and what it's made up of. A general idea is here. Now I am moving to the recycling part. So recycling business, usually I'm mainly speaking on Indian context. So in India, e-waste recycling is mainly done in two sectors. One is formal sector and informal sector. Unfortunately, majority of the material is being processed through the informal sector. Now, but the things are changing. Formal sector is catching up with the informal sector. So, and even government policies are also in place. So informal sector, scientific approach is used, eco-friendly techniques are used, material recovery and revenue generation is there. And informal sector, unscientific primitive technology they are using. We will get to that in a while. And it doesn't consider environmental impacts of the processes that they are doing. They are not least bothered about their health and health of other people living nearby. So let's get along with it. These are some pictures that I have taken from the internet, obviously. So these are from India and from some of the northern sectors of India where e-waste is being handled. Nowadays people are doing it in a small scale, kind of like a cottage industry in many parts of India. So they are not protected. As you can see in these pictures, they are using primitive tools. They are using primitive technology, which is brute force for breaking and extracting metals or whatever they can salvage from. And they are also burning it in the open air. So here you can see crude techniques used, like in this picture, where cables are burned to extract the copper from them. And after that, it is dumped in some dump yard. So obviously, when these are laying out there in the elements, there is a greater chance of these material leaching into the water table or nearby water body, ultimately ending up in our food cycle or even in our body. So as you can see, these people are working with their bare hands, without any proper protection, and they are just burning it, using just burning it in the open air for extracting the metal inside those wires. So e-waste is generally processed through there are three main categories of processing techniques for processing e-waste. One is mechanical, second one is chemical, and third one is thermal process. So in chemical process, it is harmful to both humans and environments, and mainly practiced in informal sector in a crude way. These e-waste contains precious metals such as gold, copper, platinum, palladium, etc., etc. So what people do is they will just use acid to dissolve all these metals and extract it from those chemicals. And what they will do is they will dump this residual chemical, whatever is remaining after the extraction of metal, into some water body, or they will just illicitly dump it. Even the boards and all, which are there after extracting this precious metals, they are being dumped somewhere informally. So causing a lot of problem to people who are using that water body for their daily routine, or maybe people who are living downstreams. This is a common practice in the informal sector. So chemical process is one process that is being commonly used for processing e-waste. Second one is thermal process. Thermal process, as we were talking earlier, it is used to burn this material and extract whatever is inside. So again, burning causes a lot of air pollution. This is also not advised kind of processing. The previous one, the chemical process, is also not advisable. So which is the right way? Mechanical process. Mechanical process is an environmentally sound processing method that is being promoted by governments and all other statutory bodies. These have less impact on the environmental side, but it requires more technical capability. So obviously, once it requires more technical capability, there is a huge cost of investment also. So anyway, of the three, this is the most green way to go. So the mechanical process is done like I have shown this flow diagram where e-waste is brought in, it is segregated, then segregated and different kinds of materials are segregated. So in this picture, I have shown that if there is a substantial quantity of glass, it will be transported to a glass foundry for recycling. And whatever material is left over is then again shredded. And again, a segregation is there where plastic, aluminum, ferrous metal, non-ferrous metal. Ferrous metal will be sent to metallurgical process in smelting and all. Aluminum also. Aluminum can be recycled number of times. So aluminum sheets or whatever aluminum is being extracted after shredding is sent for aluminum industry where it can be remolded to some other product. Plastics, there are two, obviously we all know, like plastics are non-biodegradable and we have two types commonly, which can be recycled, which cannot be recycled. So which can be recycled is again sent to plastic recycling industry, and whichever material is not recyclable, they are either sent to other processes such as pyrolysis, which convert them into a furnace oil or some kind of fuel, or it is sent for scientific disposal. So these are the three techniques that commonly use, and of the three, mechanical is the most eco-friendly, or we can say the most green way to go. So in India, we have the government has stepped in. We had e-waste management and handling rules 2011. Those were replaced by e-waste management rules 2016, and these the latest, which is the prevailing rule, is e-waste management rules 2016. It came into effect on 1st day of October 2016. So this is the rule. Central government has brought in certain regulations to control or to bring up more formally recycling initiatives in the state, in the country. So this rule, the central government rule, states they have defined each and every category of stakeholders in e-waste, such as recyclers, producers, manufacturers, brand owners. They have defined them and their roles and responsibilities. So as we were talking about recycling, like bringing up people into recycling, so I have included what is a recycler. Who is a recycler? Recycler means any person who is engaged in recycling and reprocessing of waste electrical and electronic equipments or assemblies or their components, and having facilities elaborated in the guidelines of Central Pollution Control Board. Who is doing the end processing? That is one who is classified as a recycler in that. And the responsibilities associated with the recycler is also mentioned in those rules. So he has to maintain all kinds of records, that is all kinds of records of material that is being brought into his facility and what he is doing with it, and the end product that is going out of his facility, and they have to submit their proper track records and their material manifestos to CPCB on yearly basis. A dismantler is one who is authorized to dismantle a product. Recycler is the next step. I will come to that in a while. At that time, it will be more clear. So storage of e-waste. This is also mentioned that if we are storing e-waste without doing any physical damage, it can be stored for many years. But once it is like if you are storing a CRT tube, once the CRT tube is not broken, it is okay, you can store it. If it is broken, then there is a greater chance of these material like lead and mercury leaching into the environment. So it should be stored properly, and there should be CPCB has strict guidelines in storing and storing e-waste for a particular time, which is mentioned as 180 days, and it can be extended to 1 year after applying or after getting consent from CPCB. So let's moving on to environmentally sound waste management mechanics, like reduce, reuse, recycle. So in this slide, this 3 R's that I have included is of a greater significance. So reuse, reduce, recycle means reuse should be the first option, always. It should be the first option. If you can reuse a material, it is far better and great. This, obviously, we have come across this maybe in the past, near past. And reduce should be our way of living. Like, we should reduce our uses. If you don't really need it, try to avoid it. And recycle is put in last because it should be the last resort. Environmentally, recycling also requires certain amount of resources. So it is not that green recycling, but it should be the first option rather than dumping it illicitly. So recycling reuse recovery options. First thing is dismantling, that we have seen in that mechanical process. It is the same process for recovery of e-waste. First is dismantling, segregation of ferrous metal, non-ferrous metal, and plastics. Refurbishment and reuse, recycling and recovery of valuable materials. In refurbishment, we can try to refurbish a material and try to reuse it. And treatment and disposal of dangerous materials include, even though we are doing recycling, there is a greater chance that we cannot 100% recycle is not possible in e-waste. So there is a chance of getting 30 to 40% of rejects which cannot be recycled, and those kinds of rejects obviously they will be hazardous to environment as well. So these rejects needs to be scientifically disposed of. So treatment and disposal of the dangerous materials, these should be taken into consideration. And value of elements would be much higher if appropriate technologies are used. The efficiency, as the efficiency increases, that the return that we get from recycling also increases. So this is a methodology that is there. First step is to identify e-waste category. So e-waste is categorized into different, like IT equipments, home appliances, and other heavy electronic equipments. So first we have to identify electrical category, e-waste category, whichever e-waste category they fall in. Identify e-waste composition or determine it, like if you are dealing with refrigerators or equipments used for cooling or temperature control. So those kinds of material might be containing some kind of refrigerants in there. Or if we are dealing with CRTs, old type of monitors and all, obviously there will be a CRT tube in them. So those kinds of composition, we have to identify it. Then from those kind of identification, we have to determine whether there is a possible hazardous content in them. Then identify whether the e-waste component is hazardous or entire e-waste item is hazardous. Like if you have a certain, if the refrigerant is taken out and handled scientifically, then the remaining that component, that unit can be recycled. For example, the radiator that comes in that air conditioning unit, once the refrigerant is out, most probably those radiators are made up of copper, which can be again melted and reused. So we have to identify either it has to be entirely sent for disposal, or there is some kind of recycling possible in this. So the government has stated that e-waste has to be treated in 3 levels. So first level treatment, second, third, this is mentioned in their rules. So in first level treatment, decontamination, removal of all liquids, as I was stating earlier, like all gases, liquids needs to be removed before the material is to be further taken up the processing chain. So first, removal of all liquids and gases is first level of treatment. People who are interested in first level of treatment has to do this. Only this. We cannot move any, we can't include any other process in this. We will not get that clearance from them. Usually this is a dry process, no water is involved, no other resources are involved. We are just decontamination, removal of all liquids, dismantling, annual mechanized breaking, and segregation. That's it. The second level of treatment includes hammering and shredding. As I have mentioned it earlier, mechanical process is the most go-green method to extract metals, embedded metals from boards and all. So first, those needs to be broken down into small workable pieces. Then they are shredded, and then special treatment is used for CRT, like negative pressure chambered chambers, negative pressure chambers for extracting gases from CRT tubes and all. Electromagnetic separation for separating copper materials, aluminum materials, eddy current separation. Obviously, magnets are used to remove ferrous metal, and density separator using water to separate this after shredding and pulverizing. These precious metals or copper chunks are separated from the plastic part using this density separator. I have a picture of that. I will show it in the coming slides. The third level of waste treatment is mainly carried out for recovering ferrous metal, non-ferrous metal, plastics, others. These involve heat, like smelters and all. Also, gold recovery using electrolysis. Those kinds of technology fall in third level of waste treatment. These are quite expensive also to set up. The facility operation requires collection. It requires a space for collection, storage, dismantling and segregation, recycling, and treatment and disposal. Treatment and disposal is done through a TSDO facility that need not be in within the facility. We can send it to a TSDO facility outside our facility. So this is the process description. E-waste collected e-waste is segregated. Initially, it is segregated product-wise. Then electronic equipments and other wires and cables are separated. Electronic equipments are again segregated. Segregation will be there in each and every step. Then electronic equipments are dismantled. After dismantling, they are again classified into PCBs, ferrous metal, non-ferrous metal, and plastic. Wires and cables, again, segregation. Wire stripping is done. I have showed you where primitive technology is used by burning it. Now, in formal sector, what they do is they will just chip these wires, and also there are wire strippers which can be used, machines where you feed these wire cables from one side, and there is a compressing roller kind of thing that can strip these wires in, and we can extract the metal from them. So after wire stripping, again it is classified into plastics, ferrous, non-ferrous. Obviously, after wire stripping, there will not be any PCBs. Then PCBs are sent for precious metal extraction. There is a greater quantity of gold and other rare earth metals in the PCB, printed circuit boards. Ferrous metal and non-ferrous metals are sold to the foundries where they are used as raw material for manufacturing newer things. Plastic PVC, they are sent for whichever can be recycled are sent for recycling, and which are disposed of are sent for scientific disposal. So this is the flow diagram for recycling e-waste. So I will just show you one of our agencies' facility. So this picture shows where you can see the top left corner. There is an apparatus there, the blue box kind of thing. It is a negative pressure chambered unit where CRT tubes are dismantled. There will always be a negative pressure inside those chambers, and once you break those CRT inside, none of the gases are released to the environment. They are sucked in through the vents provided on the top, and that vented gas will be sent to that another apparatus where there is a filter which contains activated carbon and all, and those filter will neutralize whatever chemicals are extracted from these by breaking these. In the bottom left corner, you are seeing the same process in a closed environment. These guys are dismantling a toner cartridge. And the right side, this is a common dismantling table. Even though it is not closed, there will be fugitive dust inside them. Obviously, many of these electronic equipments are sitting there for a while. So they have probably accumulated a lot of dust, and most of them are potentially hazardous. So there is also a suction mechanism It sucks all those dust into that filter that is shown in that picture. This is a semi-automatic CRT disposal system, which uses a conveyor belt and robotic arms to break CRT. It is automated one. So this is an example of dismantling table. As you can see, there are people sitting and they are dismantling PCs, and they are classifying them as different categories, and they will put all those material in different bins for taking up for it will be forwarded for further processing on the line. So this is a picture of that filter mechanism that is there. It uses a activated carbon filter for collecting and neutralizing all kinds of chemical gases or waste that is generated during dismantling process. So this is a shredding machine. Actually, it is a pulverizer, which is again, shredding means it is reduced, a PCB is reduced to the size of a coin. Pulverizer, again, it reduces it to the consistency of maybe sugar, and then it is sent for a density separator for precious metal extraction. So this is another setup. As you can see, material PCBs are put in on one side. They are crushed in different levels, and final output is sent for density separation. So on the left, you can see this is a pictorial representation for a density separator to get a proper idea. On the right side, it is an automated device, fully enclosed. So what is happening inside is that on the left picture, as you can see, there is a table with a lot of grooves in that. If you can see closer, there are a lot of grooves in that. So this pulverized material, these boards are put in on one end, and this entire table will be vibrating. And once these are when it starts vibrating, these metals are separated from the plastic chunk based on the density. Even different metals can be extracted from different grooves based on their density. So this is how a mechanical process works. And this is the most greenest part. And it can be again further refined using electroplating or something like that. So right side, it is a fully automated enclosed unit. The left one is just to show you what is inside. So these are, and this fine dust of metals are further sent for extraction of gold and all. Even rare earth metals are found in these e-waste, we can say. Rare earth means it is rare in the entire planet. So e-waste are considered to be resources. Even Japan, I have read somewhere, Japan considers about 70% of their gold reserve is in their e-waste. So e-waste is a good resource. This is an example of a smelter where all ferrous metals are put in and they are melted and converted into briquettes, lump sums of steel, and they are sent for steel industry. So on the formal sector, people are well protected, employees are well protected. They use masks, they use hard hats and pneumatic tools for removing and extracting components. The cost of establishment for such a purpose will be the building, obviously, plant and machinery, and recurring cost includes salary for employees, electrical charges, and operational charges. I'm not going in depth of the cost, which I cannot, because the building and the plant and machinery definitely it depends on the technology that the person who is into the business is bringing in, and the availability of land, obviously, that depends. So, and these are the few clearances that one has to obtain to start a facility. So these are few certificates that needs to be cleared before setting up a facility, and the concerned state pollution control board is the statutory authority for providing the ultimate consent to start a facility. So where is the opportunity in them? The global statistics, according to the UN's latest study, states that globally there is 53.6 million metric ton e-waste being produced globally. And of the 53.6 million metric ton produced, Asia is producing over 24.9 million metric ton, and India contributes to about 2.5 million metric ton. And we estimate, since we are one of the consumer states in the country, we are more like dependent on technology. And as we were seeing evolution of technology, each and every day there is a new kind of new model of phone is being out. So we are more dependent on these technologies, and we all are running after latest technology. So there is a greater opportunity. The figures are there, and there is being a representative of Clean Kerala company, and this is the right time. I would take this opportunity. Like we are also looking for people who are interested in setting up a facility inside the state. So we have invited a RFP, a request for proposal, to set up a 5-ton per day plant near Kuttipuram in Malappuram district of Kerala on DBFOT, design, build, finance, operate, and transfer basis in PPP model, public-private participation model. So we will be providing land, and even startups are most welcome. There is special provisions for startup. It will be the only facility in the state, recycling facility, as we don't have any recycling facility in Kerala as of now. There may be collection centers or dismantling units. Even dismantling units is also not there. Formally, there is only collection centers. So if this plan comes up, this will be the one and only e-waste recycling facility in the state. So what we are doing is we are collecting it, and we are sending all these material. Basically, Clean Kerala Company is a collection center as of now, and we send it for recycling to any other agency who is doing outside the state. Since we don't have any facility inside, these are some of the pictures of our e-waste collection project. And we have collected till date, we have collected approximately 1,500 ton of e-waste from both public and private institutions. Our main core area is in the public sector, which is the government institutions and offices. We haven't tapped into the private sector. So there is a greater opportunity for people, for startups who are trying to come into the sector and do a proper, informally recycling sector. So there is a greater opportunity right now. I would say this is the right time because there are less facilities in the state for recycling. There are none actually, and we have collected 1,500 mainly from the public sector. So I have listed few of our clients, and so by recycling, these are the few that plus points that we have for recycling a material, that it conserves energy. It has it is a resource, as I was saying earlier. Lower emissions is guaranteed. Reusability improves reusability. It saves on money also. It reduces pressure on dump yard. You need not have to dump it anywhere else. Like it can be recycled. It can be recycled. So these are the benefits. Some of the benefits that we have for proper, if you do proper recycling. And regarding opportunities that is there for startups, I have mentioned that Clean Kerala Company is looking for people who are into it, and mainly all the e-waste that is being generated, the majority of the majority of e-waste that is being generated is sent outside the state. So there is a greater chance, there is a greater opportunity in the state As there is, we estimate about 3 to 4% of the MSW that is being generated is comprises of e-waste, and a person generates around 4 kilograms of e-waste. Per capita generation is 4 kilogram per annum. So that is huge if you look at the numbers. Startups have a greater opportunity right now. And so this is my presentation. And if we can have any queries or any questions that we can just have a one-to-one session. You are free to ask. If it falls under my knowledge, I will definitely have a helping hand. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's very innovative and informative, sir. Really, it's an amazing one. May I request Mr. Jidesh Case, our Vice Principal and CDC Director, to convey any queries? Convey queries, if
Thank you.
any. Over to you, Jidesh, sir.
Thank you, Shibama. Good evening, Nagesh sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Hope you fine.
Yeah. Fine.
We have some questions connected to how to make a startup based on e-waste management.
Yes, sir.
So basically, every business thinking of every business based on the profitability.
Yes.
Sir, can you give a rate of profitability in this business, or can you give an overall picture of the profitability?
Like I was,
sir, 1 second. Can you stop the screen sharing? That may be better.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Fine, sir.
Yes, sir. Back to the question. For startups, the profitability you were asking.
Yes.
So I have mentioned it earlier. Like the profitability depends on a lot of factors in it. I would clearly say that you will find the material in if you are setting up a facility in Kerala, you will definitely find the material. But the profitability depends on the whatever technology that you are bringing in and whatever infrastructure you are erecting for processing. So I cannot give you a figure as of now, but it has been profitable for Calicut company, at least I would say that. So we were just focusing on the government sector, even though it is profitable for us. Even though we are not processing it, we are sending it for final processing to somebody else who is expert in that. But even still, it is profitable for us. So I would say it is a profitable business. Definitely, no doubt about it. There is another thing. If you check the website of CPCB or concerned State Pollution Control Board, you can find number of institutions or organizations into this e-waste management or e-waste recycling in other states. Even Tamil Nadu, Karnataka has more than 20-25 people into e-waste recycling, where compared to Kerala, we have none. So obviously, e-waste recycling is a profitable business. There is no doubt about it. But it depends on various factors, how much you can recover from it.
Okay.
And also, sir, I would also like to mention one more point. Startups have a greater opportunity right now, as of now. As I was introducing, like Calicut company is also looking for people. The RFP which is there, it is still live. If there are startups who are trying to come into this in this field, they can obviously get in touch with us. We have our RFP out, and only thing is you need to have a mentor or a person who is into this field. You have to get a relation with somebody who is into this field. You should have a mentor. That is the and all other clauses are there, relaxed for startups.
Okay, as a point in mind, I think it's a national webinar, so we have participants all around in India.
Yeah.
So they have some doubts related to what are the facilities or what are the support given by the our government of India for startups in e-waste management.
Sir, I believe that all startup concessions that are there in common terms,
Okay.
that is there for all. Obviously, it will be there for all startups. Especially for e-waste, I don't believe any relaxation if you are coming into e-waste. That specific kind of thing is not there. I don't believe that. But all the concessions that are there for any startup that is being brought into the country is there for e-waste also. Any special concession for e-waste, I don't believe that is there. But there is a CPCB guideline, as I was mentioning. There is a rule for e-waste management, which is called the e-waste management rules 2016. Any people who are entering into this field should comply to that rule. And also they have published guidelines also for setting up e-waste processing plants. So anyone who is interested can get into their site and just refer those documents. It is there. It is obviously it's a public document. It is there.
Okay, sir. One more question. If we want to start up an e-waste collection unit for reuse and recycle, what are the process and requirement need as a starting? I think what are the steps required for?
Yeah, I would just supplement that. E-waste e-waste facilities are classified into three as per CPCB norms. One is the collection center. Second one is the dismantling unit or refurbishing unit. Third one is the recycling units itself. So first one is collection center. Collection centers are authorized to collect and pool e-waste in their facility, and they need to send this material to the second or third party. Second party means the dismantler, or the third party who are the recycler. So this is the three stages. First one is collection center. They are authorized to collect it, pool it, and they need to send it to a authorized recycler or refurbisher or dismantler. Second one is the dismantler. He can collect and dismantle material. Like he can use tools to just open up. If you are talking about a PC, he is authorized to open up that cabinet and separate hard disk, RAM, motherboard, etc. He is not supposed to do anything else. No chemical heat involved processes are allowed at his stage. He has to dismantle it, segregate it, and he has to send it to the third stage, which is the final recycler. He has to recycle all these things. Recycling means he has to extract precious metals or plastics. He has to separate individual things separately. And these materials can be segregated again and sent to, if he is getting ferrous metal, it will be sent to metal industry. Plastics will be sent for recycling or disposal. Those kind of activities he has to do. So this is the three-step process for recycling and establishing units. And first one, collection centers is the most easiest one. You can set up a collection center.
There is low risk.
Yes, lowest risk, and all the norms are given by, if you are talking about Kerala, it is mentioned in the Kerala State Pollution Control Board is the statutory authority to provide the consent. They have to provide the consent. You have to get the consent from them. You have to apply in their form and all. That is there with their sites. You need to visit their district office for that. So it is the easiest one, and recycling is the end process. You need a lot of capital investment for that.
Okay, as a model, which country we can adopt for operating such type of startups? Is any country specified you can?
That is a tough question, sir, because each and every country is different in many ways. Even if you are talking about India, we have around 29 states. So,
right.
And each and every individual state is different from one another. The mechanism which works in Kerala might not work in Tamil Nadu, and whichever mechanism that is working in Tamil Nadu may not work in Karnataka. So it is a tough question. The thing is, you have to identify a technology, a process that suits that particular region, state, or country. It should be put in the reverse order rather than going in the other way. So if you are talking about Western countries, they have well collection facility. They have well collection network.
They collect and dump it to the undeveloped
but
countries.
They don't have any segregation kind of thing happening there.
Yes.
In Europe and all, they are mainly depending on the waste to energy plant. Like they are dumping it in a common facility, and it is burnt, and energy is produced. But we are focusing, as Indians, we are focusing on segregation, separation, and reusing, which is more efficient. But it requires more labor, more time. It is more time consuming. It requires more expert knowledge on that. So it is different. It is kind of tough to answer in a single word. This is my opinion. You have to study the location first, if it is a country or the state or a small region, and based on that, we have to set up a collection or a processing facility. That would be much better, I believe.
I think we have a scope on forming a program, degree program or a BTech program in e-waste management. I think suppose e-waste management have a very wide scope in near future.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Even waste management is a field. Even I was unaware. I will be frank to all of you who are listening to this program. Even waste management is an overlooked area. It is a gray area. No, there is. If you search the internet, there is a lesser academic kind of thing for waste management. So it is high time that we bring in waste management in our main formal career structure as well. I do believe that.
Right, sir. Then some other questions. How somebody have know about how much investment? So I already discussed that depends upon the investment in land.
Yeah, we cannot talk about a single figure right now as of now. It depends. It depends on a lot of factors.
Even they open a collection center, there may be a low investment happen, I think.
Yeah, if it is a collection center, it will be the least investment that we are expecting. If it is a dismantling unit, again, it uses semi-automatic or fully automated, whichever. It depends on the technology. If it is a dismantling unit, again, it will be greater than the collection center, and recycling units will cost you a lot because a lot of mechanical and other facilities are to be set up.
Sir, where we get the support for technical support?
Technical support for recycling, there are central government institutions such as CMET and all. They are providing technical support for setting up e-waste recycling units. CMET. That I think even Pollution Control Board and they are also promoting. They will definitely help you in getting proper technical support.
Okay. I think all of the questions we have covered. Some questions are not relevant for already we discussed it. Okay, so I think we can conclude. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jidesh, for asking questions. Thank you, sir, once again for patiently answering all the questions. Shall we wind up, sir, now?
Yes.
Okay, so once again, I invite our Vice Principal, Jidesh KS, for conveying the formal vote of thanks. Over to you, Jidesh.
If you want, you can just share my email ID, nagesh.cpscl@gmail.com for any further queries. You can just mail it to me also. And also, if you want,
sir, can you type it on chat box?
Yeah, I will do it.
Thank you, sir, very much.
So this is my email ID. Any other queries over this, I can you can send a mail. If it falls under my purview, I will definitely answer those.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, now I invite Mr. Jidesh KS, our Vice Principal, once again for delivering a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, Jidesh.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all. I think it's very relevant subject we took for organizing a webinar because our education system, curriculum system, much focused on waste management and particularly in e-waste management. As per the new UGC guidelines, there is an environmental study. It's a part of our curriculum. So very important aspect, very important. So firstly, I congratulate to Dr. Rajeshwari for select this topic for any webinar. It's very relevant on current scenario. And also we blessed with a resource person, Mr. Nagesh, SS, Assistant Manager in Clean Kerala Company. I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries and who have witnessed in this webinar. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude. On behalf of MES College Erumely, I would like to thank our chief guest and resource person, Mr. Nagesh SS, Assistant Manager, Clean Kerala Company. Very wonderful session led by him. Very informative and patiently answered all the queries from the participants. Thank you for the participation. Thank you for associating with the MES College Erumely. Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
We have a strong leadership. Our principal Mahin MN sir led all the activities in our college. We will prosper. Our college is prosper with the guidance of our principal. I thank the support and care given by from the principal. Thank you, Mahin sir, for your support and presentation here. Then we have a strong IQC team led by Srema Devi A. Madam is very visionist and very energetic. We have conducted more than 22 webinars in this current COVID situation. We have various webinars with various areas we have covered. Various resource persons across the India have come to our platform. All efforts made by our IQC IQC coordinator, Rema Devi ma'am, and vice principal of our college. Thank you, Rema teacher. Today, a relevant topic selected by the initiative of startup coordinator by Dr. Rajeshwari. Very motivational and strong personality. Very talented gift of our college. Thank you, Rajeshwari Madam, for organizing a very wonderful webinar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Our students Dean Shiba Michael ma'am anchoring this program. Also very supporting for conduct such type of programs. Thank you, Shiba ma'am, with us. We have a good team to operate our technical session. We are blessed with a good team that is led by our IT cell director, Mr. Sabjan Yusuf, and have a team members of Tanseem, Jinesh, Anandu, Jace. Thank you for all to support organizing a very wonderful sessions webinar here. Last but not least, I thank all the participants for your cooperation and made this event successful. As you know, we have participants across the India. So once again, I thank to all for the participation in this webinar. We feel proud and thank you for making us feel happy with your presence to this session. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nagesh sir, from the family of MES. Thank you once again from all participants, all panelists. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി കോളേജിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ഭാവിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ആശങ്ക പലതായിരുന്നു. എന്നാൽ സുന്ദരമായ ആ ക്യാമ്പസിലേക്ക് കയറി ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ആത്മവിശ്വാസം എനിക്ക് ലഭിച്ചു. നല്ല സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ, സംശയമകറ്റി വെളിച്ചം പകർന്നു തന്ന അധ്യാപകർ, പുതിയ ആശയങ്ങൾ നൽകിയ ലൈബ്രറി, ഏകാഗ്രതയും നല്ല ഓർമ്മകളും നൽകിയ ക്ലാസ് റൂമുകൾ, ഡിജിറ്റൽ ലോകത്തേക്ക് പറക്കാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ലാബ്. അങ്ങനെ MES കോളേജ് എന്നെ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് സ്വപ്നം കാണുവാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ വളരെ ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ പിന്നിലാക്കി ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ പറന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. You have to dream before your dreams can come true.
MES College, Erumely. Proposed PO, Erumely, Kottayam. Unaided Arts and Science College under the Muslim Educational Society, approved by Government of Kerala and affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University.
ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി കോളേജിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ഭാവിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ആശങ്ക പലതായിരുന്നു. എന്നാൽ സുന്ദരമായ ആ ക്യാമ്പസിലേക്ക് കയറി ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ആത്മവിശ്വാസം എനിക്ക് ലഭിച്ചു. നല്ല സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ, സംശയമകറ്റി വെളിച്ചം പകർന്നു തന്ന അധ്യാപകർ, പുതിയ ആശയങ്ങൾ നൽകിയ ലൈബ്രറി, ഏകാഗ്രതയും നല്ല ഓർമ്മകളും നൽകിയ ക്ലാസ് റൂമുകൾ, ഡിജിറ്റൽ ലോകത്തേക്ക് പറക്കാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ലാബ്. അങ്ങനെ MES കോളേജ് എന്നെ ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് സ്വപ്നം കാണുവാൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ചു. ഇന്ന് ഞാൻ വളരെ ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. സ്വപ്നങ്ങളെ പിന്നിലാക്കി ഉയരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ പറന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. യു ഹാവ് ടു ഡ്രീം ബിഫോർ യുവർ ഡ്രീംസ് ക്യാൻ കം ട്രൂ.
MES College, Erumely. Proposed PO, Erumely, Kottayam. Unaided Arts and Science College under the Muslim Educational Society, approved by Government of Kerala and affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University.